Welcome to another photo booth ASMR. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Welcome to another video, but today we're talking about common mistakes I see photo booth owners make. So hopefully if you're starting off or you're planning on starting, don't make these mistakes. Number one is being very cheap with the products you get for your business. Look, how long do you plan on being in business? If the answer is longer than 6 months, open up your wallet and invest in quality. It's actually expensive to be cheap. And just for one example, if you're trying to get a cheap printer, let's just say you buy the Canon Selfie, whatever, it costs a couple $100. It's cheap right away, but the more you use that printer, the more expensive it's gonna be. So I have a printer where I'm almost at 100,000 prints, and it's one of the most affordable printers to use. If you compare these stats to somebody that has that cheap printer, number one, there's no way they're getting that many prints out of that printer, but also they're spending about 2 or 3 times more on print cost. So look, just invest in quality if you plan on being in business for longer than 6 months. Another common mistake I see photo booth owners make is not focusing on the long-term moves. Like having a website should be something we do in the very beginning, right? Because the longer your website exists, the more effort you put into building your website, getting keywords down, the more higher it's going to rank on Google, and that will bring you business. Also, not focusing on getting reviews is something I see a lot of people do, because I get it. 1 review is not going to change your life. Shoot, 10 reviews may not change your life. So why am I bringing this up? Well, guess what will change your life? If you can get to a place where you have 400 plus reviews, that is a legit way to get business. Your Google profile will be promoted to more people. Also, if someone is interested in booking you, and maybe you're not the cheapest, maybe if they see your Google page with 400 plus reviews, that might be like them saying, you know what, let's just book this company. The other company that's cheaper, let's just say maybe the hypothetical, right? Maybe they have 20 reviews, but if you have 400, it's a whole different ballgame. Another thing I see photo booth owners not do correctly is taking the time to learn their software. I can't express. If you're gonna take one thing from this video, take this one. Become a master of your software. The more you know about the software, the better chances of you being able to troubleshoot something if something goes wrong. The more you know about your software, the more things you can promote and grow your business. It's just super, super important. Another mistake I see photo booth owners make when they first start off is they put their time in things that are not going to grow their business or even really matter much. I remember, I tell this story often. We sold the photo booth to a guy. I'm not going to put his name on blast, but he spent 2 days trying to come up with a logo. Those 2 days should have been spent learning the software, trying to get some free events out there, and just 2 days is just too much for a logo. And you know, I understand as business owners, you take pride in the logo, it's part of your brand, but it's not as important as you think. I don't think anybody in the history of photo boothing has ever got paid or got a job because they had a cool looking logo. Another thing I see photo booth owners make when they first start off is not pushing the free events. I think every photo booth owner needs to have that mindset. Well, I'm new, I need to get more experience and be willing to do free events. The people that I see willing to do those free events are usually the people I see that have the most success. Another mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners do is not having contracts for their rentals. I don't care if it's a free event or a paid event. You always need to have an agreement signed. Shameless plug here, you guys. If you're watching this video, if you made it this far, go to my website, photobooth101.com. We have the contract samples available. You can literally download them, use them for your business. They're ready to go. So other mistakes I see photo booth owners make is they go too heavy on the prop table, right? Because I get it, it's a trap. I did it in the beginning, right? Where I had a 6-foot table with about 50 different props, a coat rack, all of this stuff, right? I get it. You want to have a lot of props, but it's actually a little overwhelming for a lot of the people at the party. And I truly do believe that less is more. So, you know, don't go too all out on the prop table. It becomes a problem, and then it's something that you're constantly having to fix at the event. Another common mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners do is they're scared of entering what I call the most passive way to make money in the rental business is doing a drop-off. I see it all the time. People start their business, they're in the business for about a year, and then finally they have a little bit of courage and they're like, maybe we should explore the drop-off. I think it's a good idea to do it from the jump. Obviously you should do at least 10 events, but like, you know, that could be a few months and then dive into it. The drop-off to me is one of the most underrated ways to make money with the photo booth business because you don't have to be there. Another mistake is, this probably should have been said in the beginning, is people buying the wrong equipment. Not like being cheap or anything, but like, you know, we have to ask ourselves in the beginning, well, what are my goals with my business? Blah, 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 blah. You have to understand, like, where do you want to get to? And I see a lot of people investing in a giant mirror booth because some company made a video on it and saying it's the best booth, or they heard from somebody, but then they ended up like getting that mirror booth. What you don't understand is it does take 2, maybe 3 people to load it up. And if you're not a person that will always have people next to you to help you out, it's going to become an issue. Also, if you want to do drop-offs, don't get a mirror booth. That is a job for an iPad photo booth. Or if you're somebody, right, that wants to get the highest quality photos, don't get an iPad booth, get a DSLR booth. So understand what your goals are, what your vision is, and plan. Another mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners, this is going to be a long video, you guys. There's a lot of mistakes. Another mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners do is highly undercharge themselves when starting out. Comparing themselves to the cheapest person in their market to be competitive. You guys, you don't always have to be the cheapest. To be honest with you, you kind of don't want to be. And if you are, completely embrace it, right? If you're like, hey, I want to be the cheapest, ignore this comment here. Do you, to each their own. But like, just make sure whoever you're looking at pricing and you're getting advice from, make sure they're in a position you want to be. Don't take pricing inspiration from just some random person on Google. Like, make sure you're looking at them and you're seeing that they're busy and all of that. But again, don't underprice yourself just because you're seeing someone else do it. All right. So another mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners make is they're not posting consistently on social media. Look, man, God has given us the gift of social media. I know a lot of people will look at social media and say it's evil and it's bad. I think for business owners, it's the biggest gift ever, because think about it. We can start posting content, building a following. You can build a following through ads too, right? But you can build a social media account. Let's just say an Instagram for your rental business with 1,000 followers. Let's just say 700 of those followers are local. You then are posting things that potentially 700 people in your area will see. I mean it. You can literally grow a business straight off of social media. So being consistent is important, and tying it in. A big mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners make is they're not in their content. You have a big opportunity to show who you are as the business owner, to show who you are as the person that's passionate running the company. And I think it's important to show people you. Yes, you. You're the most important part of your business. And you'll be surprised how valuable it is to be a part of your content from time to time. Because just like you guys, maybe you're watching this video. You know, maybe if think about it, you know me, you feel like you've listened to me talk, you know who I am a little bit, and maybe you might want to buy something from me. Maybe you want to go to Photo Booth 101. But like, I'm just trying to get you guys to understand that, like, if I wasn't in my videos, if it was literally just text or someone talking, you wouldn't have that connection. So the more you show your face, the more you feel connected to your potential clients. And sometimes that's important. It's very important to have that connection between your client and yourself, because you may not know this, but if someone's searching for a rental company on Instagram and they find your page, they may watch every single piece of content. So if you do videos where you're just like, hey, Drew here, today I'm going to show you guys how we're making a template. And if you book us, this is what you're going to get to. Then you just talk. You're showing your personality. And if we're in the business of having people give us money before we do any work, before they meet us, your odds are a lot higher if they feel a connection to you, that trust. They feel like they trust you. Another mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners make is they're not willing to work with other photo booth owners. They're having the wrong mindset of, that's my competition, that's my competition. Look, there's more than enough work for everybody. My mentor told me this: community over competition. You don't have to think like that. Look, if you're running your business competitively, you're not super focused on what you're doing, because to be competitive means you have to look at the scoreboard. You have to look at the competition and what they're doing. Run your business creatively. Focus on you and doing your own thing. But when you think creative, you start looking at doors that may be shut and you start thinking of a way to open them up so that you can use that door and you can use whatever's in that room. Ooh, that was a bar. That was a bar. Hold up. Dang. None of this is scripted, by the way. W line. That was a W line. Okay. Another mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners make is thinking they need an LLC right out of the gate. It's always LLC for some reason. I highly recommend, if you're not quite sure what to do, speak to a professional. Speak to somebody that is literally in the business of helping people organize their businesses, whether that's a CPA or an accountant. Not everybody needs a freaking LLC from the jump. Another mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners make is they're not following me. You're not subscribed to my YouTube. You're not following me on TikTok. Come on, guys. Instagram. Another mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners make is not preparing before their events. You guys need to get into the habit, whether it's your first event or your 50th event, is test everything before you go. Doesn't have to be the morning of, it can be the night before. Just test the basics, right? If it's a digital, open up your software, send a photo, make sure everything's getting sent out. If it's a print event, you need to make sure you've done some test prints with the photo you plan on using, and just test, and tying it in, as well as I see a lot of people not having backups of their equipment. Honestly, in a perfect world, we should all have a backup of every piece of equipment. If you don't, it's okay, but at least have backups of the most affordable things, like backup wires, backup cable, a backup power block for the iPad. Bring some extra light. You can get extra lights for $85. At least have the cheap things, you know? So like, can you imagine if you have an event and it goes wrong and it's like a nightmare? You have to refund $500 all because you didn't have a backup cable that cost $9. So to me, I'm always going to have the backups of at least the most affordable things. But yeah, that's a big one is like not having backups. Another mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners make is they don't give themselves enough time to set up at their event. You know, they're literally coming in 30 minutes before it starts. And you guys, that's like pressure I don't want. Still to this day, I give myself more than enough time. Even though I know I can set up everything in 30 minutes, I still arrive at least an hour ahead of time. And if I finish early, which I usually do, maybe I have 20 extra minutes to kill, I'm gonna film some content. That's usually how we do it. So it's not like it's completely wasted. Another mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners make from the jump is getting a business partner when they don't need one. A lot of people, and I made this mistake, but look, my first photo booth business was with my friend, and I didn't even need to have him as a business partner. We just wanted to do it because I was like, this is my boy, and we love each other, and like, why not make some money together? But honestly, it's not needed in this business, unless, you know, you're somebody that doesn't have any money, but you have time. If you can find someone that has the money but no time, perfect relationship, and vice versa. But for the most part, you don't need a business partner. Another mistake I see a lot of you guys doing when you're starting off is freaking out completely when something goes wrong. Like, it's so crazy. It happens every day where someone's at their event and the printer's not printing. People go insane. And I gotta remind you guys, act like you've been there before. Don't freak out, because if you're freaking out, people are gonna see it. And if you have people waiting to use your photo booth and you're over here pulling your hair out, that's a bad look. Here's Uncle Drew's advice. If something goes wrong, turn off the ring light, turn off the light on your booth, tell the people waiting in line, hey, give us 10 minutes, or come back until you see this light come back on. Once the light's on, we're good to go, or just come back in 10 minutes. Put yourself in a position to where you're in an environment where, like, you don't have to, it's so crazy to have a line of like 5 to 10 people and you're trying to figure something out. So it's easier, a lot less pressure if you just tell them to come back, but just start from, okay, when it comes to problem solving, start from the cheapest to the most expensive problem. People usually go to the most expensive problem because it's human nature. Printer's not working. Oh my God, my printer's broken. This printer's bad. But how about we start off with turning the printer on and off? Did that fix it? Okay, no, it didn't. Okay, let me double check to make sure all of my cables are connected correctly. Everything's connected correctly? Okay. Next step, right? You just work your way up to the most expensive. And most of the time it's a human error. Most of the time it's literally someone not connecting it right, or, you know, maybe the printer turned off on accident, or whatever, right? Like usually it's something very inexpensive, not always the most expensive problem. Another common mistake I see a lot of new photo booth owners make is being very slow to respond to leads. This one stresses me out so much because, like, I get it. You know, maybe you have a lot of things going on, and, you know, whether it's a partner, kids, job, but you're gonna lose if you're not picking up your phone to answer leads. We live in a day and age where people want fast. And there's sometimes, not even sometimes, most of the time, people are shopping around for a photo booth rental. They're not looking for the cheapest. They're just looking for the first person to pick up the phone so they can get it done. I am like that. I don't want to spend a whole day looking for getting quotes to find the cheapest. I just want to get it done. So, you know, you will lose if you're not able to respond quickly. So again, like maybe this is a good time to think like, hey, if I don't have enough time to pick up the phone, maybe I should hire someone to do that, or bring someone on board as a partner, and that could be part of their fulfillment. But like, you have to move fast. So that's a really big piece of advice. Move fast. Another mistake I see a lot of photo booth owners make is not getting paid on time. Like trusting their clients to pay them when they want to pay them on their own time. Like you have to make sure that you have these procedures. If you want to book with me, you have to give me a non-refundable retainer to reserve it. I see a lot of people when starting off allowing the client, not even the client, it's a lead, letting the lead dictate anything. So you're gonna run into people that don't want to give you a deposit, which we call a non-refundable retainer. You're gonna get people that are gonna say, let me pay you on the day of the event. When you're starting off, you're basically a yes man, right? Like you're just yes to everything. But that's a mistake. You need to say no. Like, no, this is how we do it. And if it's a problem, then we may not be a fit for you. You have to be okay to say no. Don't let them dictate how you get paid, because I promise you, the people that don't want to pay you ahead of time are going to be the most difficult, and they probably will cancel on you. So have a backbone, say no, trust me. You'll thank me later. All right, so that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a long one, so just make sure to follow us wherever you're watching this. I wanna say thank you guys so much for the support. I can't believe our TikTok page has grown so much. On YouTube, we're almost at 20,000 subscribers, and Instagram. It's always a pleasure to see you guys. And again, remember, go to photobooth101.com to get your photo booth equipment. We have everything, you guys. photobooth101.com. God bless, and I'll see you soon.